Today I've got some Halo Wars 2 footage. I want to quickly talk about this opening warm-up 15-second countdown. Like, look at this awesome cinematic. A, it's boring as fuck. B, it's fucking long as fuck. C, it's daft as fuck. It doesn't belong in a fucking real-time strategy game. It's just horrible. So I'll come back to some of the other problems with the game. But in doing this footage, I've decided to go with a 1v1 game to start with. I recorded for 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4, worth of Halo Wars 2 game time. The reason I stopped recording the beta was it just kept dropping me from the games, and there was a bunch of other problems with it that I wasn't enjoying playing it. So I've decided in doing Halo Wars 2 footage, what we're going to do is I'm going to upload a video of a 1v1 game with some thoughts more based on the 1v1 and just the general gameplay and how it works. Then I'll do a 2v2 gameplay with some more 2v2, some of the lobbies and what's going wrong. And then the following day we'll do a 3v3. So you'll be able to see with the 3v3s, I'll be doing a few of those in one video because the games actually disconnect and drop out all the time. And then maybe the following day, if you guys want, we'll do a follow-up of, or a sum-up of all the different bits that are wrong with the game. Originally, I'd done the recording for Halo Wars 2, and it was done at like 4 AM in the morning, and it was a bit drony, and I kind of went back and listened to the audio, and I was happy with it, but it wasn't conveying how fucking shit the game was. It was just more conveying the different errors that are actually in the game. So I wanted to come back and actually I decided we'll scrap all that, just come back and do a 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 and go from there. So straight away, as you can see, the whole idea is get the point A, B or C. The game mode's Blitz, which means you don't actually build anything yourself. You have to rely on these fucking cards in the middle of the screen that I'm trying to select now and build. So there's actually a problem with the cards. It's on one of the bits of footage I've got somewhere where I was trying to select the card. I'd clicked A to build it 2 or 3 times. And I'm just going to stop talking for a second so you can listen to how bad this is. Right now it says Zone B contested.
Zone B contested.
There's nobody at B. I'm not at B.
Zone B contested.
There's nothing, as you can see, I've got nothing at B. Anyway, you get the idea. It is the beta, and they did say there'd be problems with it. But just as far as the networking of the game, the networking is so fucking bad. With the consistent dropouts, the consistent disconnects, the way the microphone pre-game kind of works but doesn't work, and you can't even see, like right now, because I will play a game and I'll try and talk to see if other people are in the game. You can quite often learn things, make friends, meet people, etc., etc. And unfortunately, there was nobody that I played with that had a mic the entire time. Or if they did, it just wasn't showing through. So my mic in the lobby showed. I don't know why it doesn't show in the game. In my honest opinion, that's fucking stupid. Up by my left screen, little red man looking thing. Maybe it's the emblem for this color. It should be a little microphone symbol going off, but it's not. So that's kind of shitty in itself. The other thing that I found really, really shitty about this specific game mode is it's called Blitz. So it's like full-blown action, like fast-paced, mayhem. But it's not. It's fucking slow as shit. You can see the little energy symbol. It's like the little purpley pink thing that's counting 37, 38, 39. That thing that's counting there should be going way fucking faster. But they want you to make it go faster. You have to kill enemies. And as you can see, the gameplay sort of how it just stutters. That's nothing that I'm doing. It's nothing that's happened with the actual footage. It's just what happens in the game. The gameplay kind of pauses and stutters along. So this energy that goes up, it wants you to go and capture those similar symbols called energy or whatever the fuck they were on the map. You're meant to go there and destroy them, then it gives you energy and it makes it increase the speed of your energy counter. So straight away, it's doing what other fucking stupid games have done. Cough, cough, Titanfall 2. Maybe there's a thing with all the games that are coming out this time that are called something 2 within this period of time. Anything that's a sequel is just fucking terribly made, with like no forethought into what they were doing. Because right now, it wants you to go and collect these pods, so I'm meant to run up to this pink energy and fucking destroy that. Now, because it's a real-time strategy, granted, you're meant to be doing 2 or 3 things at once. Like, in watching some of the footage, normally in a strategy, I'd have like someone now running up toward A to try and capture that. I'd have a few people running to C, so we could end up coming back around from C to B, their side to flank. But because the energy doesn't go up fast enough, you can't actually afford those units to build, because the second you engage, you kind of just... That's what kept happening. You'd engage, and each player would just keep building whatever they could, like, kind of afford. So you weren't really... Or the opposite was happening. They'd save up... You'd end up with some dickheads just saving all their fucking, like, money, and then sending in whole fucking armies that you just had no chance against. So the games would either kind of be very one-sided at one point, like kind of I was at the start here, it was very one-sided. But then when it happens that you're coming across players that are like ranked up and they've unlocked more cards and their equipment's different levels, you're ending up fighting people that you just won't be able to beat no matter what the fuck you build. So as far as the balance in the game goes, you couldn't actually like grasp a kind of balance of what was working, what wasn't working. I felt like if you built just a bit of everything, it would kind of work against most people. But that was really based on me just building whatever I could afford to build. It wasn't based on... It has no real-time strategy feel to it. So from a real-time strategy element, normally I would be building... Like, I would just go Scorpion. I'm a Scorpion player. I'd just be building all the fucking Scorpions. In other games, like Command & Conquer, Kane's Wrath, they're not called Scorpions. They're super tanks, whatever the fuck they were called. But it's just at this Blitz mode where you select the cards, even the card selection doesn't work fluently. Like, you're meant to squeeze your left trigger and then use your left analog stick to press up and kind of all the ups. So if you hover left and on a diagonal left, it'll sort of select the Kodiak. If you hover sort of, you know, not quite center, but just off center, it selects the Hornet. That in itself is just fucking clunky to use and quite often would result in you selecting the wrong unit to build. Like, or you just put it back because you're not sure if it's going to clunk out. It was very, very clunky. I didn't like the way the animation for it even happens. It's just, it doesn't work. Command & Conquer Kane's Wrath, Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath was so well done that they redesigned, like, in my opinion, real-time strategies for dual analog controllers. It was so well done. This game feels like they've taken, like, a huge step backwards in that. I can already come up with what, and you can see the stuttering happening again in the gameplay. I would already, if it was me doing the control scheme layout, I would squeeze the left trigger, left on the analog stick would be, you know, or west, whatever you want to call it. Say west on the analog stick would be the Kodiak. North would be the Warthog. East would be the Archer missiles. And down or south would be the ODST drop. That's the way it should work, because then there's less chance of, you know, you kind of hovering over 4 cards, like all the ups. It's just fucking stupid. It's like you're not using any part of the bottom of the thumbstick. It's just shit like that doesn't feel very well thought out. The same as stop engaging from battle to go and collect these energy pods. It just... Okay, so you're meant to be sending, again, it's a real-time strategy, people to all the bases. You want to secure... If you've only got one base and they've only got one, no one scores. But if someone has 2 bases, you start scoring again. That's kind of the way the gameplay works. So now you can see it's being attacked. The scores have all stopped because we both hone one, and it's an engagement on the A base. So by forcing players to stop and go and engage in these fucking like little drop pickup things that increase the energy in a game called Blitz that's meant to be highlighting how fucking fun and fast and action-paced it is, the energy doesn't go doesn't build up anywhere near fast enough. Sure, at the end it starts building up, but that's near where someone's near winning. I want to see a Blitz mode where you can build like fucking 3 Scorpions at once, bang, 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 and send one to each of the bases. Give people enough energy that they can actually do something. It's like, instead of realizing that people that play games like Halo Wars 2 are real-time strategy kind of people, and we can, handle complexities of like sending people to 3 different bases, they've just gone, nah, let's just give them no energy so they don't really do anything, and we'll just randomly select their fucking cards. You can go in and change what you actually selected with your cards, and I felt towards some of the people that had been playing for a long time had just done dumb shit like selected 4 extremely powerful cards, and that was all they had. So that was all they built. They just waited for the energy and then built extremely powerful shit. I'm not 100% sure that's how that worked, but it definitely felt like it, and I know that I could have done that. And when I did change cards, there was definitely things I wasn't building because they weren't popping up anymore. So as far as this whole thing goes, and then see how you open the menu and you select it and then it builds and then the card comes out a little bit more, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible, man. The other thing that really annoyed me when I was watching the footage and deciding whether I was going to redo these videos or upgrade them was the minimap on the right-hand side. It just takes up so much fucking room. To start with, on the top left, you've got my name there the whole time. That might just be a beta thing, I'm not too sure. But in the bottom right, you've got this minimap. Now, the minimap's no problem. I am glad there is minimaps. But the problem with it is, look at how fucking much grey space there is that's pointless. Instead of it just being the actual map itself, all the squiggly lines and curves, they've put all this fucking grey buffer space in around the map. That's fucking stupid, man. Like, who the fuck did that? Honest to God. Like, just don't do dumb shit like that. It's fucking pointless. Oh my god, this fucking game is pretty fucking average, dude. Even like how it just skips at the end here, and it's like, a victory, oh cool, that's awesome. Victory, yay. It's just fucked. It's honest to God, if this was the only mode that was in the game, knowing that people will potentially buy cards, and it even gives you the option to buy cards in the beta, not that I tested it because it would just be pointless and a waste of cash, but if you can just buy cards and you're going to end up with some dumb cunts that spend like $1,000 of real money on this shit, then you're going to end up with a whole bunch of fucking people that are completely stacked and you won't be able to do jack shit to them. And that is pay to win. That's not pay to fucking, play an even playing field. So, yeah, Blitz mode was fucking terrible. The 1v1's terrible. The 2v2 video will be coming probably tomorrow. Until then, yeah, stay away from Halo Wars 2. It's fucking shit.